You are very welcome to the Serious News channel, my new YouTube channel. I would like you to subscribe to this channel by clicking on the red button. We'll be bringing you various news content from the African continent and around the world. You are very welcome. Help us to grow this channel by subscribing. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. On the subject matter today, we will be talking about the Chinese restaurant closure in Zambia. What transpired between a Zambian national who was being harassed and being not being allowed to dine in a Chinese restaurant in Zambia. So which led to some of the issue that was being on the news recently. Probably you may be aware already, but I have some of those videos that I would like to show you. Please sit back and watch, and also the response from the restaurant owner, trying to diffuse the issue. Just sit back and watch and judge for yourself.
Imagine being called a foreigner in your own country by a foreigner. Well, that's the predicament of a male Zambian national who has chosen to remain anonymous. The man was on Saturday turned away from a Chinese restaurant and shop called Lankins in Lusaka's Long Acres for being black and a foreigner in his own country. The man was in the company of his Chinese wife and now explains.
These two other guys were in front of us. They went in, these Chinese nationals. They went in. So my wife and I were going in. There was this lady behind the counter. She was shouting something. She was yelling something. So for me, I just looked at her, but then I couldn't understand. So I walked in again. Then she repeated the same phrase. So at this time, I looked at my wife because she was looking in my direction. So I looked at my wife. My wife had stopped moving. So I asked her, what is she saying? So the lady said, foreigners are not allowed in this shop. So I thought to myself, in my mind, I was like, oh, how does she know my wife is, not from Zambia? Then my wife said, oh, she means you are not allowed in the shop. That's when I was confused. Foreigner? I am the foreigner in this situation. So she said, then my wife asked the lady, what do you mean? She said, oh no, the Chinese can come inside. You have to wait outside. You can't come inside.
The wife of the Zambian national has described the actions taken by the Chinese nationals against her husband as ridiculous.
I don't think racism is everywhere. But then, in this situation, it's just a little bit unusual, How can you ask, how do I put it? How can you say that foreigner cannot come in when they are in a foreign country? It's ridiculous. They are not supposed to behave like that.
I asked the couple to accompany me to the said restaurant and shop so that I can independently verify the allegations levied against the Chinese business firm. In the shop, there was only one female Chinese national at the counter and busy on her phone. We proceeded in the shop, and when going out, I asked the Chinese lady, with the help of the Zambian national's wife for translation, if I could see the owners of the shop so that I can find out about the allegations levied against them, but the lady outrightly refused. When she refused, I asked her whether it's true or not that they turn away blacks in their shop. In her response, the Chinese national explained that this decision has been arrived at in view of the coronavirus, but denied turning away any black person, a contradiction.
Okay, so basically she said that normally they allow the Zambians, they will come here, normally they are like the driver of the Chinese national. So the Chinese national will come and buy stuff, the Zambian driver will be waiting outside, then they will be carrying the stuff from here to the car, not to go inside. But if you say those who are they insist to go in, they will still allow.
So the Zambian drivers, the black ones, they wait from here?
Yes.
Then the Chinese, they go inside, they buy, then they get the stuff from here. So when you came here, they thought he's also a driver for you. Is that what they thought?
But the one yesterday is not this one.
Simply put, The Chinese are saying blacks transmit the coronavirus. How painful can that be? That's simply an insult. Well, let's assume that what this lady is saying is true, that they don't discriminate against the blacks. Their actions speak to the contrary. For example, everything here is written in Chinese except for phone numbers and names of Zambia and China. This is happening in Zambia. What about if it is China itself?
I traveled to Guangzhou some time back, maybe some 8-9 years ago, and on arrival at Guangzhou airport, my passport was seized on the basis that it was a fake passport. I was told I was a West African, although the party I traveled with were all Zambians. So I was detained at the airport overnight. No explanations, just told you are going back. It's becoming more prevalent here. It's not even that side, and we are looking at where is the political will to protect us in our own country. That can happen out there, but we do not expect it to start happening here, and politicians are sitting idly by.
Is Zambia slowly turning into a Chinese colony? Has Zambia been secretly sold to the Chinese while citizens were still asleep? Could it be that our leaders know something about the Zambia-China dealings which we don't know? Can a Zambian behave like this in China? This is quite strange, and strange indeed. Kalan Nchima reporting.
Yeah, so we heard a story about the restaurant. We're concerned, a Zambian citizen. Yes. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to explain what is going on. Yes. First of all, my question is it true that you don't allow black Zambians to come inside here? Is that true?
It's not true at all.
Why are people saying that? Why did the movie report say that? The story apparently is there was a young black Zambian. He came here with his Chinese wife, but he was asked to leave because, according to the story, black people are not allowed here. Is that true? And if it's not, please explain.
Yeah, it's a long explanation. First of all, she was misrepresenting herself under the company policy. Okay? We're open to everybody. Okay? This restaurant, this shop is open to everybody, Zambians, foreigners, including Chinese. We're open to everybody, to the public. She was misrepresenting herself. She's not good at English. What she was trying
So you're saying she's not good at English?
She's not very good at English.
Okay.
To explain more details of other things. Now, the policy we have is against the COVID-19 pandemic. We have some protection measurement, okay? Including anyone enters the shop should wear a mask. And there shouldn't be more than 5 or 6 people, too many people, at one time in the shop, okay? We always check. If there are too many people, the others have to wait a bit. And at one time, we even had the most strict policy to say no one should enter the shop. Everyone should stop at the table there, tell the shop manager what goods they want. Then the shop manager will get the goods and handle it to them at the gate where they're waiting. Okay? So she could not explain that properly. Okay? We have a lot of Zambian customers at the restaurant. Of course, for the shop, honestly saying, they're few because most of the stuff we're selling here is for Chinese cuisine. Okay?
Chinese cuisine.
Yeah, Chinese cuisine.
So most of your customers are Chinese.
From Chinese community.
Right.
So this like that manager, that lady, she used to deal with Chinese. That's why they use the Chinese language. And we do have this in English speaking as well to remind our customers, please wearing a mask due to this pandemic period. So that's the truth. But she could not explain that properly. And I think she was not given a proper chance to explain. You know, she's not good at English. From the video I can see, she's not given a chance to explain her properly. And meanwhile, we are around. Myself, I'm the boss. I'm around. I was not called to help her to explain. The reporter who took the video didn't even call us to confirm whether the story is true or not. Okay? So what I can assure you is that it's not true that we have such a policy against the Zambians. Don't allow them to enter our premises. No, it's completely wrong. Okay?
Okay.
The only thing she is that manager. She was mispresenting herself.
Okay. So she misspoke.
Yes.
She didn't articulate
Yes.
correctly.
You will explain something to the officer. You from another angle. He said she was. It's like a private talking between them at the beginning. Then things turned out to be what? I'm not. Maybe you can also take a picture.
Okay, but before I get to him, though, I have to ask you two other questions.
Yes.
Is it true that the mayor was here this morning?
Yes.
And what did the mayor say, and what did he do?
Okay. The mayor has sent his team from Lusaka City Council. They checked around, found some, what should I say? Somewhere breach of regulations. Okay.
Yeah. Regulations.
Regulations.
I understand that
Yes.
that your licenses have expired. Is that true?
Business levy license. They didn't fund it. I told them it's in the office. Okay, I can still bring them. Okay. And there's some drinks which without a proper English labeling.
Yes, because
okay, that is our fault. You know, as I explained, it's an ongoing process. We're busy doing that labeling thing, but they said, okay, the law says before you open, you sell them, you should finish that work. Okay, that is our problem. We are behind the request, you know, requested work.
Let me just clarify that point. What you're saying is that one of the things that the Lusaka City Council personnel came to talk about was the fact that some of your products are labeled in total Chinese, Mandarin. That there's no English on the product.
Some of them,
right?
Haven't managed to put the label there, the English label.
So you're saying you admit that is an oversight on your part.
Yes.
What are you doing to change that?
We actually, as I explained, we were following instruction from the authority. Talking about the labeling of the products we're selling. I don't know, I should show you a sample. We printed those English labeling, okay? Names, expiry date, the contents of the products, everything. Now, we need to stick them one by one on the items we are selling, okay? Because some of them are in big quantities, so we cannot finish them at once. What the way we are using is a continued process. We first, those on the shelves, maybe 10 of them, 20 of them, we label them. Okay. Meanwhile, we print some more for the one in stock. Now the thing is that why they found some of the items without labeling? Because sometimes the customers, they will just take the one who got labeling. You see, but the rest of them we haven't got time to put on. So that is the problem being discovered. Okay. And we have to admit, it's still our problem. It's still our problem. And we are following the instruction of the authority. We're cooperating with them to correct whatever problem we have, follow the law, and continue our business. This is a lovely country. And I've been here more than 20 years.
Because you speak very good English.
Not very good, but at least...
Well, you communicate very...
I can express myself.
Right. If you can just go ahead and cut that phone. Thank you. So let me ask you one last question, though.
Yes.
What about, I understand that not only did the mayor come, there is, one of the reporters says that the restaurant has been closed.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
So right now the restaurant has been closed by the Lusaka City Council.
Yes.
Explain that.
Okay. That's why... I was asking you where are you coming from because we have closed it according to the instruction from the mayor. This place is closed. The queue. We finish all those issues which they discovered.
So the restaurant is closed, has been closed by Lusaka City Council until all of the irregularities are sorted out.
Okay.
Name,
Yeah, can I put something also?
Please.
We closed this restaurant from middle of March when this COVID-19 just break out in Lusaka. We made a decision to close it because it's no longer safe to provide this restaurant service. So we closed the restaurant. Then only the shop remains open because the Chinese who are staying home, although they're not eating from here, they still need those materials for their cooking.
That's in that shop there?
Yes.
Do you have the key for that? Could you give me a tour of the shop? Is that possible? Is that okay? That'll be a great thing, you know, to clarify this issue. That would be a great thing.
I have to be careful because I need a reporter
Yeah.
to report the story for me, no problem.
Okay.
As long as it's a truth.
Okay.
As long as it's a truth.
Okay.
Don't twist
Yeah.
what I mean. Maybe my English is not good enough.
No, I get you.
Myself. Don't twist what I want to say. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's true that again the media announced this place is closed, but actually we closed this restaurant since middle of March.
Since the COVID?
Yes.
Right, so you closed the shop.
We closed. No, we didn't close the shop.
Oh, sorry, you closed the restaurant.
Yes.
As per government instruction.
Yes.
All the restaurants in the country were closed?
Actually, before the president announced the closure of all the restaurant and public places.
So you closed even before the president announced it. So what you're saying, just to be clear, what you're saying is that the shop was open because you sell things like noodles and oils and ingredients to the Chinese community. So that's the shop that has caused
That's
this.
the reason the shop is still open till we got that bad.
So is the shop still operational?
Now closed.
Now closed.
Since morning, before the media arrived here.
Before the mayor arrived.
Yeah, the mayor arrived here. I heard that about that video. I watched it. I was upset as well. I'm not happy with what that Chinese lady did. So I made my decision to discipline her by stop her work immediately. And she's the only manager at the moment in the shop. So the shop is also closed.
So basically what you're saying to me is that this whole thing was a misunderstanding. That this whole thing was because she didn't know how to properly communicate. Okay, let me ask you this. What was she supposed to say? What was she supposed to say? What was the correct thing for her to say?
She was mentioning, she sent me the video footage for what happened the first day when the Zambian gentleman came with his wife. She was saying something like, why she stopped the Zambian gentleman is just because she was not wearing a mask.
He was not wearing a mask.
Oh yeah, he was not wearing a mask. But I haven't confirmed that. She just sent me the footage for the CCTV.
Okay, so stop there, just to be clear.
Yeah.
So you're saying your manager, the Chinese lady that was working there, she said when the black gentleman came, the Zambian that came with his Chinese wife, that he didn't come here with a mask. So your shop manager, she stopped him because he didn't wear a mask. Is that what you're saying?
That is the first time she recorded and told me. The next time, he was trying to recall what happened because it has happened in 2 different days. Okay, the first day is the couple came, and the following day they came with a reporter from Moi TV. Okay, the first day when they came, she could not remember it. Either the man wasn't wearing a mask, or by that time in the shop there's already 5 or 6 customers, which is reached the limitation of the shop. Okay, so we want
because you only allow 5 customers at a time.
We want them to keep distance. And
right.
you know this shop, the ventilation is not very good.
Yeah.
This type of
Yeah.
So
you only allow 5 customers at a time.
Not more than that.
Right.
Okay. Actually, we don't. Nowadays, we don't have too many customers.
Yeah.
They always come 1 or 2
Yeah.
or 3. So this is what she was trying to recall. Then she, oh, where's my phone? She sent me the video footage. If you have interest, we can have a look at together to say what's happened the first day when they came, okay? Then, of course, the second day turned out like a disaster.
Yeah.
She was asking questions she could not answer.
Yeah.
You know, there was just simply, I heard what the reporter was saying. Put it in short, you are called a foreigner in your own country.
So let me ask you about that specifically. Did your shop owner say foreigners are not allowed here? And can you explain to me what the word, what is foreigner in Chinese, in Mandarin? How do you say foreigner?
Lawai.
That's a foreigner.
Lawai.
Did she say Lawai is not allowed here?
I don't know what she was talking with the Chinese lady.
Right.
I haven't got chance to ask her to record the whole conversation, you know. So,
But she
was talking to the Chinese lady in Chinese and trying to explain to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Okay.
okay. I will take this chance if I can find that Zambian gentleman and the wife. We want to apologize to them and try to explain what happened, why this thing happened. We want to apologize and explain how our shop used to operate. We are not racist. We are not mistreating people.
You're not racist and you're not mistreating people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I hope we can be given a chance to talk to them directly, face to face, apologize, and try to get the forgiveness. It's a misunderstanding for me.
Okay.
At least it's not what we are supposed to do here. We are doing here. No.
Okay.
It will be wrong.
Okay. That's clear. What I'm hearing you say is that this was something that was lost in translation. That the shopkeeper said something that she didn't know how to communicate, and it was misinterpreted
people
according to what you're telling me.
People may disagree with me, but what I can assure here is that we never had a policy to say that we don't receive
We don't receive
Zambians,
right,
or black people as they say.
Yeah.
No.
so you don't have that policy.
We don't have that. And
You don't have a discriminatory
our
policy.
Staffs, our friends here, we have so many.
So these people work for you.
Yes.
They work here.
Yes.
So you don't have a policy, because you see in the video, one of the things that was mentioned was that the Chinese people would come with their black drivers. Okay, the Chinese national would be allowed in the shop. He purchases the goods. Then the black driver stands by the door, gets the goods, puts them in the car. My question is, does that happen?
It happened if the driver was not wearing a mask. Number one. Actually, why we say that? Because we noticed that when people are ignoring this virus, they don't take it serious. At the beginning, I'm telling the truth. At the beginning in this country, they don't take it very seriously, like the rest of the world. But the only Chinese, when we know that it has broke out in China and it caused a big problem. So everybody, even here, we are very careful. We start wearing masks. Then we told our customers, if you just came from China recently, if you haven't done the isolation, 2 weeks isolation, please don't enter our shop. That is rule number one. Rule number two, if you've isolated yourself, you found that you have no any symptoms of the virus, fine. You are allowed to come, but with a mask. Now, here comes to that story you are asking. When the drivers driving them here, sometimes they call the drivers to help them to lift the goods, right? But when we discovered that the driver was not given a mask,
He's not allowed to enter.
yes, we tell them no. Tell your driver to wait outside because he has no mask. But now, of course, nowadays everybody knows that we should put a mask. Then you are allowed. Actually, the same gentleman and the reporter was allowed to enter the shop. They worked free to check the goods, then they came out and start ask questions. And the problem started from there. The lady could not explain properly.
Yeah. You know what? I'll be honest with you. You're Mr.
Tang is my name.
Mr. Tang?
Yes.
I'll be very frank with you. I have a clearer picture of what happened here now. It's clearer to me. What you're telling me and what my audience here, many of them are beginning to understand, is that you do not have a discriminatory policy. In other words, you don't say black people are not allowed. But you do have a policy that stops anyone who doesn't come here with a mask.
Without a mask.
Sorry, without a mask. Thank you for that correction. Without a mask. Without a mask. Let's be clear. So if you don't have a mask, you're not allowed to enter.
Yes. That is rule number one. Rule
Yeah.
number two, we don't want too many people to stay in that shop at one time. So sometimes we control the numbers.
5 people max in the shop.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Not 5, 6. I ask them to handle by themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they think, you know, too many people that are crowded and they talk to each other so closely. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good for her own health as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, Mr. Tang, is it Mr. Tang? Tang. Thank you. I thank you for your time, and thank you.
thank you. Give me the chance to tell clearly.
You've
Give more
explained.
details about what's happening.
You've explained it very clearly, and you've given us a clear picture of what happened. But I'm also hoping that you will clear up the problem of making sure that your products are labeled, in English, because we don't all speak Chinese or Mandarin. That's very important. Make sure that your licenses are all in order. When are you going to fix all that? When are you going to fix all of that problem?
I think just in less than a week time, because the license they were talking about, either we have them, the original ones in our office, which just by mistake they haven't hung it out there, or we have paid the money, renewed it, approved, we haven't got the actual paper yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So that's for the license issue. Now for the neighboring issue, we have to pay more attention to that. It's not it's our priority now, because we are always behind what is supposed to be done, in time. So we are paying more attention
Okay.
to that.
Well,
And
Mr.
please, I take this chance. If that couple see your blog, I hope they can give us a chance to approach them and talk to them, apologize to them.
Okay.
Yes.
So guys, Facebook, Mr. Tang here would like the young couple to come back in here, and they would like to apologize for any misunderstanding. And I'll be very frank with you, Mr. Tang. This morning I was very upset, but I know, I'm 50 years old, and I know in life that not everything is what it seems to be. It's very important to get both sides of the story. One of my college professors used to say to me when I was in college, Dr. Billy Wheeler, I'll never forget, he said, son, there are 3 sides to every story. There's your side, my side, and the truth. You see?
True.
Yeah. So I wanted to come here to find out from myself, to get firsthand information from you, compare it with the story that's been published, and then weigh it. And based on what you're telling me,
Yes.
it's clear to me it was a misunderstanding. It was the words that were spoken and lost in translation, number one. But the biggest thing that you've said here that I've understood is that you don't allow people in the shop who are not wearing a mask.
We're facing this pandemic.
Yeah.
It's so serious.
Yeah.
Everybody should take care of himself and even others' health. You don't put a mask, you said you don't care. How about the others?
Yeah.
They can be infected by you.
Absolutely.
You see?
Absolutely.
So it's just simple. We are following the government's instructions, what the president announced. Those measures must be in place.
Yes.
Even now, recently, the president has announced that they allow the restaurant to reopen as long as you meet the requirements.
Yes.
But we think we're not ready yet.
So so even though the president has announced,
that, yes.
you feel you're not ready.
Yeah, we are not ready to reopen it.
Okay.
There's a lot of issues to address first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Tong, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I hope I make friends with you.
No, you've spoken very well. You've spoken very well. Babu Ishi, how are you, sir?
All right.
Tell me, who are you here? Do you work with Mr. Tong? Okay. So this whole thing was a misunderstanding.
Both a misunderstanding, and if there was anything else, I could only say that the lady in question was not representing the views of the company, but her personal views. And that's why maybe we could say discipline action has been taken against her.
Okay. Okay. Because Mr. Tong says she didn't say it right. She probably misused the wrong word.
Yes.
And
according to what was reported to him. But what I'm saying is the people who are on the ground themselves may have a different view. But I'm saying if they have a different view, whatever she said might not represent what the company policy is. It's just a personal views, and that's why a disciplinary action has been taken against them.
all right. Well, sir, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we hope that everything goes back to normal.
And one thing maybe that would be clear about the drivers remaining behind. Because of this five people policy going inside, we have a gentleman who has come with a driver. So we would choose one. Who would you choose to go inside? The driver or the purchaser himself?
The purchaser.
The purchaser will go inside. That means the driver will remain outside. But because of this same thing that has come out now, it's turning like, okay, the driver has remained outside because
he's black.
No, that's not the issue.
I can see how this whole thing was misunderstood and misconstrued. And already some people here on Facebook are saying, Mr. Mwaya, just a galebo. I've seen it firsthand, and I've heard the explanation. And to me, it sounds genuine. It sounds genuine, and I understand. I do, and I've gotten both sides of the story. Thank you so much, brother. God bless, and thank you for the water. Appreciate it. Take care. See you guys. Bye. All right, so there you heard it. It was a misunderstanding. And that's the shop there. And they've got a policy. Only 5 people are allowed to go in that shop at a time. And if anyone doesn't have a mask, they're not allowed to go in there. So that's where all the debacle came from. So I'm gonna go. It's a beautiful property, though. I have to tell you, we should come in and have lunch sometime. Mr. Tang, thank you so much.
Are you coming back to do some?
I'll come for lunch.
Yeah, but not only lunch. You have to tell people this is a good place.
Yeah, well, not only because you're telling me that, but because I've heard your side of the story, and I'm convinced. Okay, it's clear to me what happened here. Now that I've weighed both sides. Yeah. So when you're open, let me know. Okay.
I must have your contact number.
Sure.
Have you ever been to my place before?
No, this is the first time. I've never been here before.
Actually, it's a nice one.
Yeah.
People like it.
They like it here, huh? Okay. Can I get your? Maybe you punch it in for me.
I regret that we caught such a problem.
Yeah.
At this moment.
Let me punch my number in there, and then you can give me a call.
Okay, tell me how to spell them.
Just put Simon Mwewa.
Simon.
Yeah. You can check out our Facebook page. It's called Simon Mwewa Lane. Yeah. Can you? Okay. Yeah, that's it. So let me just punch in my So let me punch in my number now. And then you can give me a call.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good that the media can come to get the truth. You know, I was worrying that I cannot be given a chance to explain myself.
Yeah.
This is bad. You know, I oppose any form of racism or mistreating. You know, us as a foreigner, we as a foreigner in this country.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful and peaceful country. I stayed there 23 years now. in this country.
You've been in Zambia 23 years.
23 years.
Amazing.
I came in 1997.
Amazing. Fantastic.
When I was young.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting old, just
Yeah.
like you. Almost at the same.
Mr. Tang, are you saying I'm an old man?
I'm not saying we are age mates.
We're age mates. Careful, Mr. Tang. Thank you, Mr. Tang. Have a good one. Just save that. Give me a just give me a missed call and then we'll make a plan. Cheers. Have a good one. Cheers.